Welcome back, everybody. Again, shout out to Pearl for that intro. I hope she's here to hear her work.
I'm here.
Hey, Will, good to see you. Lily Beans. I got Pearl up here with me because I know y'all love to hear from Pearl too. And today we're going to talk about purple. She's got a little I don't know what's going on in that mind of hers, but she's confused per usual, and I'm not. What about you, Pearl? You good?
I'm good. I thought some of the reaches were quite impressive, um, considering that she spent quite a lot of time over the last week digging up other people's old content and holding them to it. It seems bizarre that she then has a blue face when
I know.
somebody does the very same thing to her. Again, the reach
The
of of
reach.
of going to of saying that it's about her child. It's not. It's about how much you talk about your child and then go mad when anybody else talks about the way you talk about your child.
I know it's crazy, and we knew when Earth did that premiere that that's what she was going to do.
Of course, of course.
But it's interesting because Earth just simply played her words. That was it.
Exactly that. There was hardly any editorial at all, other than to tell you where things came from. It was all purple.
Yeah. So, Purple, you're the one that's talking about your shine. Nobody else was. Now, did people in the comment sections have questions on some of the things that you were explaining about that incident? Of course they did. There's a lot of people in the medical field here. I'm not one of them. I don't pretend to be. But yeah, people that work in the medical field and hear your story, they may question it. I don't know.
The whole thing gets me. This constantly is thrown up. Are you a doctor? Are you a nurse who specialises in this particular field? Okay, by that criteria, Perp, you can't talk about your son's medical condition because you're not actually qualified. Now, of course, that's stupidity. You're qualified to talk about your son's medical condition because of your personal experience. And the same goes for everyone. That's like saying, you I can't sort of say anything about your experiences of pregnancy because I haven't had your baby. I've had 3 of my own. I think I know how pregnancy works.
Right? Yeah, Pearl is hiding. Pearl
Am
is
I?
hiding. She's up here. Hold on. It says, no, hold on. They can hear you, but they can't see you. I think it's because of the way I have it laid out. There's Pearl. There she is. Y'all can see her now.
We're having a learning experience here. I've just been thrown by the fact that I've been looking at the comments and thinking, why is nobody commenting in the chat? And then realizing new comments come in at the top on this one.
Yes, I can do this. Look, I can add the comments has an overlay, or I can
That's
take them
excellent.
away. Yeah.
So we had a moment where I couldn't find out how to unmute myself. And Soup was going, Pearl, are you there? And I'm going, I'm here. I just can't make myself heard.
Not really, OG London girl, although it does play into it.
Oh, that's just another level on it. The Lolita thing was,
Oh,
that
yeah, the
just got me
Lolita.
last night. Let me explain why these two things are different. Unless, of course, you want to explain first, Soup.
Well, she addressed me uh, like I wouldn't come in there and say, "What's good?" You know, she wanted purple,
She was hoping you'd gone to bed early like you normally do.
and
But obviously,
normally she
because
got
your
me last
husband
night.
is not well, um, unfortunately for her, you weren't.
Unfortunately, I was wide awake and I was listening.
Yeah,
Yes, you
she
do.
she assumed everybody else was. No, we weren't. Most of us were in six-ups, having an absolute hoot. I caught it on the replay, this morning. I wasn't in there at all, because
You
otherwise
all
I
were
would have come in
watching.
and said something.
Were you all watching Ziggy? Because I
Oh,
missed that.
what a show last night was. Goodness me.
Uh-huh. I got to watch some of it today.
Three
Uh,
times
she
live.
almost went full U-Haul, Pearl.
Almost. We could hear the U-Haul approaching from a distance. The squealing at one stage. Oh my life. If she's look, I'm sorry to say it, but I'm going to say it. If
Say it.
she's not using, she's having a mental breakdown. Both of those need help.
Well,
Whichever
I
one it
watched
is,
it.
get help.
She was all well, no. I watched she wasn't cammed up on the one I watched earlier this morning. She deleted it, but it was recorded. But the one before that I watched, and she was kind of doing that neck thing where, I don't know what she's doing, but it freaks me out a little bit. I got to tell you, the home girl.
Hilariously, as she was telling us that her uh, laptop, her computer, was freezing up and doing all this, that, and the other, she forgot that she was in a dim room wearing glasses, and reflected in the lenses of her glasses was her screen. She then told us that she had her camera covered up, as we could see her on the screen. It's just like, are you having a complete breakdown? Or are you honestly got to the stage where you lie to us so much, you think that you can honestly tell us that our eyes are not seeing what we're seeing?
Yeah, because we're seeing it. I don't know. She was explaining that she had downloaded an app and they had hacked her. I was confused. Um, that she had to screen record. They told her to screen record her screen so they could catch them in the act.
It was wild. And
It was.
she was just losing her shit constantly about her Amazon wish list. And it got to the stage where every time Six said, "Dear TBI," as if she was emailing them, I was laughing so much. I had to press my face into the pillow because it's the middle of the night over here, and the tears were rolling down my face.
Dear TBI. She emailed TBI one time, yeah. Well, probably more than once, but she was very proud of that time she emailed TBI.
By the end of Six Up Show, Eliza already had the merch in the merch store with DTBI on it.
You know it. Eliza's on it. She is. Now, we're going to get to where Purple addresses me. Fair use, educational, all the good things. And if y'all don't mind, please, mods, drop her link just to be fair. Here we go, Purple. There's only one person confused here, and it ain't me, and it damn sure ain't Pearl. Okay? You ain't going to catch Pearl slipping. Me, you might, especially since, I got sick a year ago and my memory isn't the best, but I remember quite a bit about the Lolita days. And the two that you're trying, the comparison that you're trying to make with Lolita and Harper, damn girl, you didn't think this through, did you? Let me start off by saying, well, let me look at my little notes. I love this. I love this, Pearl. I have notes back here, by the way, if you didn't know. I made a note. Now I can't find it. It doesn't matter. I remember. Purple. The issue with Lolita is quite simple. We've explained it more times than we probably should have. But when we found out that what was being said was actually the truth, see, unlike you, we didn't just go along. Okay. We actually looked into some things because we caught some things. And when we found out the truth, then we came to Lolita with it privately, not on a panel. She didn't want to answer anything, which made it clear to us that everything that had been said was true. She did indeed lie about her whole life. From there, we decided to move on. Okay. We did one live about it, and we kept it pushing. We didn't talk to her behind the scenes. We've never spoken to her again since that day. Now, you can believe that or not. I don't care. I know the truth. Pearl knows the truth. We never spoke to her again. We didn't go back and forth with her and have her up on panels. And, you know, it was done. That chapter was done. It was time to move on. Okay. Now, you, however, with Harper, and I'll add a video to the end of this. So if you want to watch it, chat, you can. You and Harper have had more arguments than I would say you and Heidi. There's been quite a few. At one point, Harper even threatened to fly out and see you. Okay. She was going to take a flight, a train, a plane, an automobile.
And not only that, she would. The agreement was she was coming out to see you. They were going to have a fight, and the loser had to leave YouTube.
That part. Yes, the loser had to leave YouTube. Okay. Crazy. It's insane. You and Harper have been through this too many times. So, yes, when I say to you, how did you file for this? How did you file for it? It's not my
And it's
fault.
even beyond that. It's even beyond you falling for it. At the moment that you, I listened to the replay, as I said, so I didn't hear it live. At the moment that you were saying that we were fools about Lolita and all this sort of thing, and the two were comparable, you then said, after you'd posted those pictures about what a fool you were and you'd been taken for a ride again, you were talking on the phone to her yesterday. What the hell?
Oh,
You
yeah.
had Frank in the chat. So don't tell us, there's no comparison. We had none of that. We went to her, we told her what we knew. We said, look, we know this is the truth. If you're going to come out and sort of say with us that it's the truth, we'll stand by you while you repair it. And she would not face up to it. And because she would not face up to it, it was done for us. Then the conversation turned into how we move on. We all go and we do our own channel. There was no back and forth. There was no playing with her. There was no coming back a month later and talking about it. There was no asking her up on panel to chat. No back and forth at all. These two things are not comparable.
They're not. Completely different scenarios. But you're reaching. But I'm going to ask Purple that you do a little bit better with your reaches, because that was a pathetic one. And I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to play it. And you try me on this, I'm going to fight. Now, I know you're in a bad mood. I can hear it in you, Purple. You're pissed the fuck off. Okay, first of all, you got played by Harper and Frank. That's your own damn fault. It ain't mine or anyone else's. Then you got mad because, you know, I don't know. It's like, to me, you wanted Frank to be something that he may not be. It sounded like he was just doing it to please Harper. And you were like a dog with a bone on that subject.
She went to the police about it.
Yes, she went to the police about it. It's not even her situation. This ain't even Purple's situation. It's between Harper and Frank. And Purple goes to the police about it, or tried to get Harper to go to the police, or went with her, or was going to go with her. What the fuck? Are you okay? And then you got, Earth replaying some of your old live streams where it doesn't paint you in the best of light. So you're pissed off. But I'm going to tell you something. Getting mad at me ain't it. Because I'm going to correct you where you messed up. And you may say your problem isn't with me. Well, that's good. Your problem should be with Frank and Harper. But let me remind you of this too, Purple. You allowed them to come on your panel and announce this fake baby announcement. I know that's embarrassing. When everybody was telling you they're lying. They're lying. And you wonder, how did some people know a year ago that they were going to come up with this story? Well, because they told people on they told Tony on a phone call, and Tony got on her own live and was like, listen, y'all, Frank and Harper are crazy. They're thinking that this is going to be some amazing love story.
It
So
was talked
people,
about in several places, and it was well known in sort of the side chats and back chats and discords. It was so spoken about that when they actually sort of came back and they got a baby, everybody was like, "Oh, here we go. This is the storyline."
yep, it was easy. You know, for us, it wasn't like some complicated thing to figure out. This was what Frank and Harper were going to do. They're weird. They do weird shit like this all the time. But anyway, let me go ahead and get into you addressing me and the comparison that you tried to make. Wasn't good. Sounded dumb.
Oh, no, there's no. Oh, but, you know, while we're on this, let me come up on this phone. Because I got a doozy for you. And this goes to the soup, this next comment that I'm about to make. So just give me a second. I'm going to have to mute. Oh, Soup, I'm glad you're listening. I am so glad you're here listening. Because you made a comment.
I have a slight feeling you weren't. I got a feeling you weren't that thrilled that I was there in the chat.
No, she was obviously going to work up to lashing out about this. And lo and behold, you were there in the chat while she was going into it. So her confidence, you can sort of hear the performance in her voice.
Yeah, it kind of dips a little bit.
That how could we fall for Harper's shit? I don't know. How about the same reason you all fell for Lolita's shit?
So I'm in there. And I am leaving comments. Her chat replay wasn't up yet, but I think I said something about the two aren't comparable at all. When we found out about Lolita, we were done. You got played by Harper several times and kept letting her come back to your channel to do this.
A reminder, if Lolita had ever come to us and said, you know that guy that keeps coming in here, the one who's actually threatened to unalive me by taking an edged weapon and creating a nice gap in my neck. But I've decided I'm going to befriend him and I'm going to his house. We would have had words to say then and there. That's before we get into all the bullshit about the attacks and phoning Tony instead of the police and suddenly this pregnancy. Also, how on earth someone gets pregnant when they've had a partial hysterectomy? I don't know how a partial hysterectomy works. Unless you're talking about they take
Probably
the
just the
uterus but leave
uterus.
the
Yeah.
ovaries.
Right.
But the way it was expressed as partial hysterectomy, it's like, what? Did he get bored halfway through and just leave half the uterus in there? It's just.
Well, the home where the baby resides is the uterus. So either way, you're not having a baby with a partial hysterectomy or a hysterectomy.
But I
Am I
promise
right?
you, if Lolita, no, you can't. I promise you, if Lolita had come to us and said that about going to this guy's house, we would have had questions then.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And that gets brought up. I'm glad you mentioned that.
So, see, people get duped every fucking day. So, how could you all fall for Lolita's bullshit for so fucking long?
I can answer
Listen,
that.
dummy. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm going to run to the ladies' room while you answer, and
I'll
then
tell you
I'll.
exactly how we felt for that. Um, she had images of herself in the scrubs. She had an actual license with a license number that she was wearing. She spoke very educatedly about her position and the things that she did. She never, ever conned us about anything. She never approached us for any money. In fact, she gave money. In every way, she behaved like a responsible human being. We heard her with her children in the kitchen before every bloody live. I mean, you heard all the noise in the background. Her interaction with her family was completely consistent with what she told us. And it was only when we started researching into the number on the license. And I'll be honest, if you're the sort of person who sees somebody at their job with their official lanyard on, and your immediate reaction to your friend is to go and check up their personal details, then there's something wrong with you. The reason that we didn't listen to what Ziggy and Jenna had to say was because they were both known liars and they were both people with axes to grind against us. Why would we listen to them? As it turns out, what they got to say was the truth. But we waited until we had our own evidence to check up on. We weren't going to take your word for it. You people brought on a man and took his word for it and his partner's word for it, that she was this criminal junkie. But somehow she got custody of the children. She was this terrible person, but she got custody of the children. What does that say about him? You didn't even look into it. I emailed you and sent you the documentation that there were protection orders against this man, both for Lolita and for her child. But no, you had him up. You're always talking and criticizing about other people who say that they're survivors channels. But you are absolutely a panel that will invite any old abuser up and let him put his side. Whether
Yes.
it's Frank or Lolita's ex, whether it's a man in a gimp mask, whether it's a man who says, oh, well, I didn't know she was 12.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Sit down. You don't have anything to say to me.
Nothing. You actually shouldn't have spoke on this at all, Purple. You embarrassed yourself. You really did. And I made the point of saying, because she asked, so people get duped every day. How is it different? When I met Lolita and she told us what she did for a living, my mind didn't go to, oh, is she lying? Let me ask her if she's really a nurse, if she really lives in this house, if that's really her flower garden. Just like any normal person, you don't ask, is everything you're telling me true about your lifestyle? No. That how is that the same? Now, Harper, however, has shown you time and time and time again, she's nutty. Okay. The bitch is thrown off. We will see her on Dateline. Some show 48 hours. I don't care. One day. Y'all mark my words.
One thing that I agree with Perp about, this will happen.
Yes.
I swear to goodness, one or both of them are going to end up on the news.
One or both. But you're trying to compare apples to oranges, and it's just you're trying to make a square peg fitting around. It's just not going to work. It's not the same. But let me keep going.
And can I clarify something she said about? We said that a prescription had been written
that
for
wasn't
one of us.
us.
That was one of the things. No, that's not true at all. What happened was somebody, and I'm not even going to drag him into this because he doesn't deserve it, much as I dislike him. A respected person, not by me, but a respected person in this community actually told us, separate from her being there, that she had helped him get onto this new drug regime for the issues that he had, a medical issue. This is not any sort of addiction issue. Now, as it turns out, it was a discussion where she knew about this thing and she told him, and he then went out and found out about it. But the way it was presented was how grateful he was to her that she had put him onto this new treatment. Now, he meant put him on as in guided him, told him, and then he went and
Right.
got. But when said, right, if you believe somebody is a nurse practitioner who can write prescriptions, and somebody separately says to you, oh, yes, she helped put me onto this treatment and it's really made me feel better. What would you think?
Yeah. What would you think? I mean, come on, it's easy. Yeah.
Her whole fucking life was a lie that y'all fell for.
Actually, not true. She did live with a man. She did have the children that she claimed that she
Yep.
had. She did look after people.
She wasn't a nurse practitioner, but she did look after.
Not everything about her life was a lie.
She did have children. She did have a man. Not sure if it was a husband or a live-in. I'm not sure. But not everything was a lie. But like I said, when we found out the truth, and then she allowed us to go through with that live and defend her. And the whole time she could have told us, look, some of the stuff that's coming out isn't true. A heads up would have been nice. But she didn't, and she allowed us to continue. And that's what really hurt me and pissed me off about the situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So who's really the dumb one here?
That would be you.
Right. Again, Purple, why did you do this to yourself? God help. You let Harper, who has shown you time and time again that she will lie about dramatic things. I'm not talking about little things either, okay? Like big things, tragic things. And then she'll come on.
You told us yesterday. You were on the phone with her and she was now telling you that she was pregnant and she'd had a miscarriage. Why are you even still listening
Right.
to this and then telling us that we're dumb?
We're dumb.
We're dumb for being involved in one situation that when we found out the truth, we put an end to it, full stop. Never spoken again since. Never had the person up on panel. Never got into it in email or on phone or any of that bullshit. But you're still talking to Harper. Don't tell her we're the dumb people. You're the dumb one. You want to carry on allowing Harper to lie to you so you got something to come on live and talk about. That's on you. But don't tell us that you're in the terrible position of being taken advantage of again. You keep throwing yourself on the mousetrap like the world's stupidest mouse. Carry on.
Or that that meme that Stars always post of the pigeon walking towards the tree and then it falls into the hole over and over.
I seriously watch that over and
I
over again.
need that.
Yes.
I need that up here. But let me remind y'all yesterday, which we'll get into it here on this live of Purples. She talked to Harper yesterday. Harper tells her that she was pregnant, but she had a miscarriage. Oh my God. Why are you entertaining this fool? Here we go.
I only got duped over one thing. Y'all got duped over a whole fucking life that didn't exist.
Purple, listen up. You were told that they had a baby named Cash. There was
A baby is a life. You got duped over a whole
a
life
whole life.
that doesn't exist. Boom.
Boom. Purple, God, you did not think this through. I know that you're angry and frustrated right now, but please slow down. Think a little bit.
But I'm not the bright one here, right? Oh, it is the same. And I thought I knew Harper. So what's the difference? We thought we knew her. You were shown over and over who Harper was. Oh, but you were shown at first who Lolita was, and you didn't believe it either. Remember? You had to
We were shown by two liars who had an axe to
Yeah.
grind. Why would we listen to
Why?
that?
Over our friend.
Why would I listen to Ziggy, who was saying that we were all scammers and most of us had substance abuse problems, when I've never even had a debt or smoked a cigarette? Why would I believe somebody who said that about me? Oh, and also declared me dead
Yeah.
twice. Why would I believe this person about Lolita? Why would I even tune in and listen? Explain that to me.
It was coming from Ziggy, a known liar. Okay. I don't care. I did not care at that time what she had to say. I thought it was all weird and out of the blue anyway. Didn't really want to entertain it. But you all know the history of that. So, of course, we weren't but again, it's like you cannot stand the thought. It drives you insane, Purple, that we actually did our research, come to terms with it, and ended it and didn't make it content over and over and over and over. We did have to do a live about it because, gee, all of a sudden, there's no channel with the circle jerks anymore. Where did they all go? So, yes, we had to do a live and talk about it. Hell, it was all over YouTube. But after that, we were done. You, however, you have kept on with Harper. You had Frank up on your panel, and he's like, yes, I have a son. And then you're forgiving Frank, and all of a sudden now you don't believe he's the one behind the threats. Remember that? I don't think it's him anymore. You had him up on your panel, and you were claiming that he was the one who made the threats to your son. Purple, girl, come on now.
I also don't believe that she doesn't believe it's him. She slipped up when she said the other day,
She's not going
I
to
apologize to him and I'm not going to
flip-flop.
flip flop backwards and
Yep.
forwards. So what you're saying is, actually, you do still believe it's him. You just don't want to talk about it in public because you've already slipped up and apologized to him. That's why you wanted this to
Yeah.
stick about the rape allegation. You wanted to get him on something.
You were desperate, Purple. You kept going back to, so did Frank do that? Frank, did you do that? Did you do that? I mean, it's like you were stuck on Frank doing this thing. You say that they're both crazy, and I happen to agree with you, but you were really hung up on Frank being the guilty one. Yeah. And that pissed you off. Why?
go do your own digging.
Oh, how dare we? We had to go do our own digging. Yes, how dare we do our own research and not take the word of Ziggy? How dare we, Pearl? How stupid of us to do our own digging. God almighty. Hold on. I lost my page. Let me pull it back up.
You're right, darling. We're moving over to a different presentation platform, so please bear with us. Like I said, I couldn't find the unmute, so I know that Soup's probably having some issue here finding the bit she's looking for, but we'll get there.
I've been played by Harper twice.
This whole time I thought I was unmuted and you couldn't hear me. Can you hear me now? Pearl?
I can.
Okay. I hit the wrong button and lost that page. Can you all let me know if you can hear everything? And me and Pearl are down here on the bottom. All right, here we go. Now, let me fix this. I don't like this layout. It's bothering me. What is that thing? No, I don't like that. Here I go touching buttons. Oh, half screen. Here we go. Now you can see me and Pearl.
That's all. At least she didn't have this whole elaborate, she's a doctor and y'all stuck up for, oh yeah, she wrote a
Elaborate. Whoa. You just had someone pretend to have a whole baby. A whole baby. Okay. Yes, Lolita lied about her life, but I'm not responsible for her lying about her life. When we found, I'm not going to keep saying the same thing over and over.
prescription for one of us, blah, blah, blah. Bitch, please sit down.
Bitch, please. 1, she wasn't a doctor, she was a nurse practitioner. 2, she never wrote a prescription for any of us. Other than that, you're completely factually correct, as in you're not containing any facts.
And we never said she wrote a prescription for us. Now, I don't know. Did you pay attention to anything, Purple, when this was going on? Because you sure were a part of it.
There's no difference. So it's okay for y'all to sit over there and talk about my son's medical shit. Okay. And then you're like, oh, she even sent us.
Where we were talking about your son's medical shit, please, clip the bit where I said anything about your son's medical shit and show it.
Yeah, me too. The only thing I ask in yesterday's premiere is 4 months old, wouldn't he be in the NICU? Nobody's talking about your son. Stop.
We're talking about you. Talking about your son.
Right. Stop trying. I see this so many times with YouTubers. I'm telling y'all, this has got to stop, but you see it all the time. The whole, they're talking about my kids when they're probably just talking about you. Now, Purple, you were talking about Tabby's children just a week ago, okay? You don't really have a leg to stand on when somebody's playing your own words. When you were actually going deep into someone's private and personal life and dragging it out here, okay? Oh, I know what you're going to say. Well, it was on YouTube. Was it though? Or did Tabby talk to you about it? I have no clue. I'm not close with Tabby. But you had no problem. I mean, you even made it your thumbnail. I think his name was in it. Her child's name. All right.
A paper in in email. I did to prove to you that I wasn't fucking lying about shit, but okay. You know, Boomerang. Okay.
Yes, Purple, we don't boomerang, meaning we don't fall out with somebody and then just have them back around. We're not those bitches. No, like Pearl used to say, we're not those boomerang bitches. We're not. Uh, Purple, sometimes I think you allow people back around that you've had these horrible knockdown dragouts with, just to have somebody on your side. I don't operate like that. I don't need people to just be on my side. Um, you've gotten cozy with a lot of people when just what a year ago they were the devil. We don't do that. We don't boomerang.
Mr. Cartoon Dick is certainly very popular over in that camp again.
Yes, and that was a whole issue with them two. I mean, she had his ex-wife or wife, whatever, up there. Uh, we don't get along with that person. I don't entertain his personal life, but you sure did.
And to be very clear, that's not my description. I am not calling him that. I am using the description that Perp had been using for many months, until suddenly they were besties again.
Yep. Yeah, that was her whole description. Not ours. And like I said, when there was issues there, I didn't dig into his life and have people from his family on my panel. We're not the same, Purple.
You did it first because you didn't believe it. Oh no, we were liars, right? Ziggy
You're still
and
liars.
me and Jenna.
You're still liars. You just happen to be correct about that one thing.
Yeah.
I will never ever just blindly accept your word for something. I'm sorry, I'm just not going to. And if that
No.
offends you, well, that's tough.
Yeah. I just can't do it. I'm not, when all that come out, I wasn't just like blindly believing that. Also, I kept in the back of my head that maybe some of this is true because certain things were said. And when certain things were said, we did our own research. So maybe you should have did the same with Harper and Frank and you wouldn't be so angry.
And her ex-husband and the wife, and we were all fucked up, right? Lying, just wanted to go after poor little Lolita, who was a fucking fraud.
Actually, my real concern was the fact that you were dragging a custody issue online of a minor child, a teenage girl, when this man, who for 10 years had been fighting together, started off with a protection order where he attacked Lolita with the child in her arms, which is why a legal protection order was given both for her and for the child. Things that you knew because I emailed you, but you still had them up there because, like I said, there isn't an abuser alive that you won't seem to platform.
Oh my God.
I
It's
mean, my God, you
unbelievable.
did it to Six Up. You did it to Six Up a
You
year
did.
ago.
Just because he came in your chat and was nice to you, you were like, oh, I've got another person that'll be on my side. Shuckering Shucktash. Tell me all the bad things about Shick Shop. You idiot. And then look how that went. You've got to stop platforming these people because you don't like somebody. A lot of the times, Purple, you do things out of spite. Spite doesn't serve you. God, I'm going to sound like Lenny here, but it's like giving somebody, or what's that, poison, you drink it and you expect them to die. That's what spite is. You're spiting yourself when you do this. God, I just gave out a quote and butchered it.
So see, you don't like having shit thrown in your face, do you? It's not nice. When you believe in somebody and you care about them, and then, they turn out not to be who you thought they were.
How many versions of Harper have you believed now?
Right. How many? Purple, you have said before in your fallouts with Purple or with Harper that she is crazy and psychotic. Something is wrong with her. You have said this before yourself.
Yeah, I have this weird thing that when somebody shows me they're crazy, I stop interacting with them. It's
Yes.
this habit that I've formed over the years. Yeah, if we believed one version of Lolita and then we found out we were wrong, how many versions of Harper have you believed?
Mm-hmm. Because it just took once for us, ma'am.
Mm, Well, you know what? The world doesn't fucking always make sense, Soup. Not everything in fucking life makes sense.
I
Did
agree.
I?
I agree. It's one of the few things that you said that I agree with. But it doesn't really make any significant difference to the conversation that's being had here. The situation with Alita remains the same. The situation with you and Harper remains the same. It's an interesting quote, though. Well done, you.
Well done, you. Oh, and Lady Boom, I don't read your comments. You keep trying to address me. I know that you're, or is it Lady Death? Oh yeah, it's the shocking Lady Death. Now I'm so dark. Um, when I am interacting with somebody on a panel, I usually don't pay attention to the chat. So if you want to save yourself typing all that stuff to me, you can, because I don't read it. I just saw soup, 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 and then
Yeah,
you would
I'm the
say,
same. As I
yeah.
said to you the one time that I interacted with you, I'm not talking to you, tentacles. I'm talking to
Tentacles.
someone else.
I'm not talking to you, tentacles. Yeah, so I know that it's your moment to prove yourself and, like show off for the chat. But I promise you, little buddy, ain't nobody paying attention to you.
State several times that I did not fucking get the fucking relationship. I did. Did I fucking beg Harper for months to fucking turn him in? I did.
Huh? What? What? You begged Harper for months to turn him in? Why?
You were really invested, weren't you, Perp? You were really, really invested with the idea of getting him inside jail, one way or another, just because you felt that he'd embarrassed you. Because you somehow, I don't know, do you know what? I don't know whether you believe the threat was him. I don't know whether a threat even happened. I just know that I don't believe anything that I've been told about her, except for the fact that you really, really want some sort of vengeance on him. But bizarrely, even while you want this vengeance on him, you still let him in your chat. You still let him up on your panel. I tell you now, if I believed that somebody had made a threat against one of my children, they wouldn't be safe speaking to me. They wouldn't
God,
want
no.
to have a conversation with me. I certainly wouldn't be inviting them up on a panel.
If I invited them up on a panel, I promise you they'd never want to come back. But you had him right back there in your chat, apologizing for thinking it was him and all that. See, Purple.
And he
First of
was
all,
in your chat last night. He was in your chat and you made a big thing of saying, Frank, I've got nothing to say to you. Well, why is he even in there? Block him then.
they did. I think Buckeye did block him.
For
But
now.
for now, until Purple unblocks him.
Countdown
But,
to him being back on panel.
yep. But I just find this whole, you begged Harper for months and months to turn him in. this is just weird to me. First of all, Harper lied to you. Okay? I don't know. This is a very strange story.
There's nothing I could do. I contacted the police, but without her cooperation, they wouldn't do anything.
I tell you what you could have done, Perp.
Oh my God.
You could have silenced the whole conversation by not giving it air. But no, you fed into it. You might say that you were acting out of some sort of correct belief that she'd been assaulted, but ultimately, that's not down to you to do anything. If a victim, and I say that in air quotes, let's just assume for the sake of this conversation that there's actually a victim. If a victim does not choose at this time to go to the police, it is not anybody else's business. You should not be picking at somebody constantly to behave in a way that you want them to behave. Quite often, women who have been assaulted cannot deal with the authorities at that particular time. It can take, I know that it's something ridiculous, like a woman is attacked in domestic abuse sort of 8 or 10 times before she will even think about approaching anybody to talk about it. But I don't believe there's a victim in here anyway, but I'm just saying, if you genuinely believe there was a victim, why would you keep doing that?
It's very odd. It's a weird place to position yourself between two people. I don't know. This
It feels
weird.
like you wanted her to serve your needs.
Yes. It was
You
more
saw this as
about
an
her.
opportunity.
Yes.
And I find that concerning that you weren't. This is supposedly your friend, and you supposedly believe her, but your concern is about getting him.
Y'all are killing me in the chat. Oh God. Boom. Phew.
Speaking of boom, sometime soon there's something fun coming.
Oh God. I am not going to tell you all, but I'm going to tell you this. Pearl did the damn thing again. Okay. You think Ziggy get a job was good? You wait. Okay. Pearl, I love you. You're a genius.
I contacted the fucking detective that she gave me the fucking number for. The case number. Without her cooperation, it was just me saying it.
Yes, so surprise, surprise. I contacted the detective and I said, no, I wasn't there. No, I don't know this for a fact. All this I've heard secondhand, and the person doesn't want to come to the police. What can I do? And surprise, surprise, I said, there's fuck all you can do, love. Move along.
Did she really? She probably really did this. Purple, did you really reach out to the police and say that? What are you doing? And then you wonder
God, she
why
did. I would love to hear that phone call. I would love to hear that phone call. It would be Ziggy level talking about BK. It's going to be like that. Sort of slightly less hysteria, but just as laughable. I would love to hear that phone call.
I can't. And then people wonder why we watch her. I need to laugh. I'm sorry, but Purple makes me laugh. Something stuff like this, I'm just like, are you okay? Oh Lord.
Shout out to Vintage in the chat. I hope you're well, darling. It's lovely to see you.
Oh, is Vintage in here? Oh my God. Oh, there's Grandma Sherry too. Law and Order, the Pearl Devere unit. Yes, shout out to Vintage. If you did not see her on Drees the other night, you've got to go see it. She kind of scared me.
Can I just say that if there was
Well,
a Pearl Devere unit, I would very much like to be under Detective Stabler.
Taking those calls. Or foyer. I don't know the correct term. You're crazy, Earth.
I don't know what happened that day. I wasn't there. But he did say he was going to slit her throat on Tony's fucking panel. That right?
We know.
Yeah, we know. We remember. That's what made this even more strange. Is
We
she
know that
goes
you were
and
still
does that?
friends with her when she said she was going to his house.
Oh my God. Do you understand that we know this and that's what made this so much more bizarre and why we are asking you, Purple, how did you allow yourself to get played by these two? They've been playing games since the beginning. She got mad at me for asking that.
Right there was a fucking enough of a death threat that he should have been turned in. Right now, I think they both should be in jail. I think they're both.
Yes, ma'am, you can, Vintage. Give me just a second. Let me drop that in the chat for you. This is for Vintage.
I'm not sure that they should both be in jail because I'm not sure that you can say that they've actually done anything other than upset people. But certainly psychiatric help would be a nice first step for both
Yes.
of them.
Yes, that would be a really good move. Now, how do I get that stupid thing off? There's no X. Good grief. Yeah, you're going to have to help me out here, 6up, with Restream. All right, I dropped the link. Do you see it, Vintage? I'm looking in the back because it's different than StreamYard. It'll probably take her a minute. I'll go ahead and let this play till Vintage comes up.
Fucking fucked up in the head, and they probably fucking deserve each other, bunch of little fucking psycho fucks.
Did you say fuck enough then, Perp? I think that if you sort of extrapolated that 2-minute thing over 10 minutes, you'd probably be getting past the 51F salute.
I was about to say.
Vintage, I can't see you, but if you're around in the back, it's the M on your keyboard to unmute. It took me a while.
Yes. If you haven't used Restream and you come up, Vintage, use M to unmute. If you're on your phone, it's probably easier. I don't know. But I'm watching for you.
Well, then don't get mad at me for not falling for Lolita's stupid shit. See, it works both ways.
Actually, it doesn't. Lolita, you didn't know Lolita except from YouTube. You didn't talk to her like that. So it doesn't work both ways. This is a complete dichotomy from what you went through with Harper to what we went through with Lolita. But I love that you keep bringing this up as if we did something. It's funny to me. Yeah. We do the right thing and we still catch hell for it.
I know, and we always will.
Yeah.
The one thing that I am glad about is that she did, in the end, shut down in the way that she did, because if we'd have stood by her and worked through this and then it had come out, we discovered about that phone call, the Erica A thing, I would have been beside myself. The cringe would have been too much. Hey, darling.
There's Miss Vintage.
Hey,
You
y'all.
look so well. It's so
Oh.
good to see you.
I feel good. Thank you. This Restream's a little different, isn't it?
It is very
Isn't it?
different.
It's probably given 6up anxiety, me up here messing with it.
It's giving
Let
me
me see if
anxiety
I can
trying to figure
fix
out
it.
how to do it. Hey,
Miss-
everybody.
It's so good to see you. Let's
I'm
see
going
if
to
we
take my
can do
earbud
that.
out. Yeah, look, I got a little more hair today, don't I?
Oh, yes. Yes, you do. There you are. Let me maximize. There's
Oh.
Miss Vintage Wise. When she came on Drees the other day, what'd you have on your head?
Listen, I bought this Miss Santa Claus suit for Christmas, and it came with a bald cap. And ever since I've had that bald cap, all I could think of was 90% hair loss.
90% hair loss. Yes, from Karen and Heidi. Purple told people one time she had 90% hair loss.
Yeah, so that's all I could come up. But listen, I only have a minute.
Okay.
We're headed to Birmingham for my granddaughter's volleyball tournament. But anyway,
Right.
okay. I want to tell y'all a little story real quick. If you got
Okay.
just a minute.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So I'm sitting right about where I am one day, back some couple years ago or so, and I receive a phone call. And I'm going to tell y'all it was Jackie. I'm going to tell y'all the truth. Since all this has come out, all this mess is all out there. And I'm going to tell y'all the best of my memory what happened that day. Okay? Do y'all want to know that?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. I'm going to tell you from the best of my memory. Okay? I'm sitting right here about in my little spot, and I get a phone call, and it's Jackie, and he's telling me that Frank is fixing to go to prison for assaulting Harper. That Frank says that he did not do it, that he never assaulted Harper, that
Mhm.
she was ready to, they had been laying up all day, okay?
Right.
And that when she got ready to go, he did not want her to go. And that he did take her phone and that she had locked herself in the bathroom, okay?
Okay.
She, from what I understand, she told Frank to call the Tonys, okay? I thought that she had talked to Jackie. He had talked to Jackie first. Jackie told him to give her her phone and let her go. And so, from the story that I understood, that there was absolutely no sexual assault in this. What it was is that she wanted to go. He didn't want her to go. He got her phone. She went and locked herself in the bathroom. They called the Tonys. They talked to him. They gave the phone back.
Mhm.
As she was getting ready to leave, she started throwing all these accusations out there because she had marks on her. Well, they let her go. Well, then Tony calls me because Tony and I were pretty close then. And Tony calls me and she's like, "Oh my God, you're not going to believe." And I said, "I was just talking to Jackie, blah, blah, blah." And she was going to call Harper. And I'm not proud of this, but she said, "Will you be on the phone with me?" And I was like, I don't really want to have, I about up to here with this whole
Yes.
mess, you know. I really don't want to do it. And Tony said, "Please, if you'll just listen, just listen." So I said, "Okay." So I did. I listened in on a phone call, and I'm not proud of that, but I did it. I will never do it again because I don't want to ever be in this situation again. So Harper's on the phone, and Harper's crying and carrying on about she has marks on her from the day. And she didn't know what she was going to tell Robert. And Tony is saying, if he attacked you, go to the police. If he attacked you, go to the police. Go to the police. If you're saying he did what he did, you go to the police. And she was saying she couldn't go to the police because Robert, I'm going to tell you what she was saying. She had to have something to tell Robert, that she had to have something to tell Robert. Then the next thing I know, it was everything. Nobody really knew anything.
Right.
Well, the next thing I know, and I could be wrong. It was either Heidi or Susan. I don't remember. And I want to say it was Susan came out. Frank came in her chat or something, and Susan spit it out. "We know what you did to Harper. You stay out of my." And I was like, "Oh my God, it is done got to Susan."
Yeah.
And then the next thing I know, Heidi comes out with it all.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm just like, oh my God, what is going on here?
Well,
And
I
then
think
it just,
Harper had contacted Heidi, because remember, Heidi would be up on panel calling Frank, you know, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So that's as good as I can remember it from that day. You know, it seemed to me when I was listening that Harper was not so much concerned about what had happened with Frank, but what was going to be the story to tell. I mean,
Right.
that's just what my
The
assumption was.
impression that you got, right.
Yes, yes, that was the impression that I got, and I've kept my quiet. I really haven't said anything. Y'all know that because it's just so disturbing. This whole story is just so disturbing.
Sick.
But I also had known probably about 3 days prior to this incident that happened. I was talking to Tony. I'm Tony. I love you. You know, I always will. I just can't deal with all the. I can't deal with it, y'all. It's
No.
too crazy for me. But that there was the whole story about the baby, and then we're going to have a YouTube love affair. And I heard about this before all this, and that they were going to have a YouTube baby and everything. They were going to have this amazing love affair and blah, 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 blah. And so then when Frank came back about the baby, I was like, oh my, this is really.
Yeah. Well, do you see what New Jersey Robin said? Vintage. I
I
remember
can't,
that too. Tony
okay,
told
I
her
can't see
privately.
chat because I'm not sure where I'm supposed to go. Oh, there it is. Vantage, I remember that too. And Tony told, right. See, Jersey, we were all kind of all talking in that same little group. And it just got so unreal. I couldn't.
Well, I remember them. I can't remember. Do I have background noise, or is it just me? Can y'all hear me, or do I sound funny?
No, you sound good to me.
Okay. I remember them being on somebody's panel. I cannot remember exactly who. It may have been Tony's. And they were talking about a baby that they had. But at the time, the baby wasn't like a real baby. It was like a baby squirrel. They were up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were licking each other's face. Something weird happened, and they said that they were going to have this great love story. Frank was going to turn himself in and get out
Yeah.
and raise the baby, but there was never a baby.
Yeah, no. Well, you remember all the pictures came out with either with Harper's fingers in her mouth or Frank's fingers.
Yes.
I can't remember.
They had it as their avatar.
Yes. I'm just like, this place is.
It's crazy. You got weird people like that, and Purple entertained it. She should have known better.
Listen, I've never lied to Purple, and if she had ever I'd have told her. But I don't owe you anything to tell you anything because
No.
you've lied on me so many times, Purple. I don't owe you anything. I could have told you this whole story, but I just assumed
A lot of people could. Or she could have gone off of historically Frank and Harper's behavior.
Yes.
But you're right. You don't owe her shit.
No. And nobody does. And I'm going to say this real quick before I got to go because it's almost 2. We got to travel, and I'm just waiting on Steve to come out the door. But as far as Frank, I've sat here for like 3 years now and watched Frank. Okay.
Mhm.
And Frank has been used. I'm going to use my words carefully here.
Okay.
I watched Purple use Frank to attack me, Tara, all of us.
Oh, yeah.
I watched that happen.
Yep.
And then when Hopi came in the picture and they broke up, then Hopi used Frank to attack all her enemies. And then Heidi used Frank to go in and attack all her enemies. And so I've just watched Frank go from Buddy used Frank. Everybody has used Frank in some capacity to go after the people because y'all know Frank, he's not Frank has a lot of issues.
Yes.
I mean, we've seen them on live. We've watched it happen to him, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
And so I
It
think
was no
women,
mystery.
yes. And so I think that that's abuse. I think that
Yep.
Frank played a part in it, but I also
He
believe
did.
that
I
don't know.
agree. I look at Harper as the one who had the upper hand here,
Yes.
even though she is sick and she has her own issues. What's the word I'm looking for, Pearl? Harper was in more of a position of power, is the way I look at
Yes.
it.
I agree. I agree.
Mhm.
Any woman that I think that any woman that associates theirself with Frank has a position of power.
I agree. I agree absolutely.
Okay. Because
And I think it speaks to her ego that she actually wanted to have this whole thing of, oh, yes, he attacked me and he went to prison. But it's a great love story because you can't really blame him. I'm just such a, such an enigma and,
Yeah.
and such a magnet to him that like he had to have me.
Yeah. Yeah,
No.
exactly. It does. It speaks to her ego.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
and Frank knew in order to keep her happy that he had to admit to the
Agree with
horrible.
whatever.
Yeah.
Nobody believes me, Frank. Nobody believes me, Frank. You've got to
Yep.
go in there and tell them, Frank, that you did this, Frank. I make them agree with me, Frank. Nobody believes me. I'll never see you again if you don't go in there and tell these people this. Yes, that's
Yeah.
And look how
Yeah.
quickly she threw him under the bus on Perp's
Ye-
panel right in front of him.
yes.
Oh,
All right,
yeah.
y'all. Look there. The man is ready. Say hey.
Hey, Steve. Good to see you.
Steve's
right.
looking fine as well. A very
He-
handsome couple.
He
I'm not
Yeah,
is.
bitter.
I've been like struggling whether I even wanted to say anything on this or not, or
I think
or-
it got to a point, vintage, to where how could you not?
I-
It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
I started to pop up on your panel the other day, but before I could get parked, you were already gone. And
Oh, I'm sorry. I would have
no, it's not your fault.
loved
I
to
could
have
have
you
typed
up.
in there or something and said hey. But y'all, we're fixing to get on the
Anytime.
road.
All right. You all be safe.
All right, honey. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Pearl. Bye, people.
I love her wave.
I know. I
It's
do that for
so
Liza
good
now.
seeing Vintage looking well. I'm so
Thank
pleased.
you. I feel good too. I feel
You
good.
look
Everything's-
good.
So there is life after crap.
Yes, there is.
All right, I'm gonna figure out how to leave here. All right. Bye, y'all.
Okay. Let
I'm
me
gonna
see
put you
if
in
I
my
can
ear,
look.
so I'll be listening.
Okay, hon.
Bye, y'all.
Just in case she didn't know how, because this is different. I dropped her for something that she brought up. Now, I'm glad she brought this up because I almost forgot. Harper, I am going to have Purple's back on this part. Hold on, let me pull this up. I am going to have Purple's back on this part because it's just the truth. And I saw you come in my chat talking about you people are sick. No, Harper. Bitch, you are sick.
Girl.
Deeply disturbed. Don't come in my chat and say nothing ever again. You think you're going to get people to feel sorry for you over here? Ain't going to happen. You came to the wrong place.
She's got what she needed. She came in here, had a little cry about it, got made to feel like a victim. Now she's gone off to tell somebody what a victim she is. There you go. Successful Saturday night for you. For God's sake, get some help.
And she accused Purple of altering the audio that I'm going to play for you all. I'm going to slow it down.
Absolutely ridiculous. I'm sorry. Again, this is going to be a backhanded defense. You imagine that Perp is actually going to take the time to edit something? No.
Well,
Not
also,
only
she
and also
came.
the fact that the chat is still there, so it is definitely not edited because we know from the whole process that if you alter anything from the live stream, you totally mess up your live chat. It's gone. If the live chat is there, it has not been edited. But if you honestly believe that Perp's going to edit audio on the fly, I mean,
Come on.
I know you're used to spinning some tales, but try and at least have a touch of realism in there.
You tried it here, and I'm going to slow it down because I'm going to tell you something. You cannot alter audio on a live stream. So no, ma'am, Purple did not mess with your audio. Let me put it on 0.75. Here we go. This is when Harper, excuse me, Harper comes up and screams that there's no baby. But before that, we hear the rustling around and somebody coming in the room. This is the part she said that Purple altered. No, she didn't.
Go with that.
Well, if we do that, then we believe that you acted.
You believe I'm right? There you go. I'm a fucking rapist.
Hold on just a second, please.
She wrestling with her microphone.
Can you still hear me?
No, she
Yes.
probably
Yeah.
wrestling with fucking.
Hey, easy.
I'm on panel, and Frank's on there, and a
Be
bunch
nice.
of other people. And
Oh,
See,
they
Lenny,
have-
that's what I was told from sources that
lied.
heard the conversation.
I was never pregnant. I'm not lying. It's embarrassing enough. You guys.
So no, Purple didn't alter the audio. You understand? We hear you rustling around. I should have gave an earbud warning for people that wear earbuds. Sorry, Pearl. We hear some type of rustling around, and then a dude comes in. He says something, and then you go on with your story about you lied. There was never a baby. Okay. So sorry about your luck there. You got caught. You can't blame that one on Purple. Hold on now. Let me pull up the other one. It's amazing what people will say and do when they're caught in their lies.
That's something you gotta get the answer from her from. Because there's no fucking way in hell, no way in hell that I would fucking even would have talked to that stupid son of a bitch after he said he was going to slit my throat. No fucking.
But you did, Purple. You accused him of being the one that threatened your son, and you talked to him again and had him on your panel to announce the birth of his fake child. Which, by the way, I'm starting to wonder if Frank really thought he had a son, or he was just as much in on the lie as
He was
Harper.
definitely shocked. He was definitely shocked by her saying there was no pregnancy. Now, that could be two things. It could be, one, she's borrowed a grandchild or somebody else's kid that she's babysitting, and he actually thinks that's his child. Or it could have been shock that she was suddenly changing the story and saying there was no pregnancy. But he was genuinely shocked.
Yes, Tiny. I had it on slow mode, but I put it back on regular. It's hard to tell with Purple. Pearl, I'm going to let this play while I'll run to the ladies' room real quick, okay?
Fucking way. I would have had him locked up faster than you could fucking blink. And you don't know Harper. See, I could use the same thing. There were several conversations that I had with that woman offline for hours upon hours upon hours. Did she fucking get one over on me again? Yeah, she did. There won't be a third time. And if you knew Lolita so much, how didn't y'all see it? So if I didn't know how Harper really was, but you knew Lolita inside and out, basically, how the fuck didn't you see it?
We were told very everyday stories, just of sort
Oh,
of
we probably will.
generally how she'd been
One of them's
working.
going to hurt each other really bad, and I called that a fatal attraction a long time ago.
Yeah, so did Sue.
I don't know if it.
Yeah. I'm sorry you spent so much time talking to Harper. And it sounds like you have stayed in contact with her through all of this. You're probably still in contact with her. So let's not try to make comparisons here where there are none. I didn't stay in contact. We did not stay in contact with Lolita.
And
Oh,
we
there's
weren't
one.
told any fantastical tales. If we'd have been told these amazing stories every day about her daring do, fantastical ways that she'd saved lives, all this sort of thing, we'd have had question marks. No, it was very dull. She'd be like, "Yeah, I've got to, I'm on call today. Yeah, I'm in the office. This is a picture of
Yeah.
me in scrubs." It was very, very normal and low key. There was nothing to set off any concerns. We were never asked to do anything. We were never asked for anything. If she was completely the opposite, she was always trying to be helpful with other people. There was no reason to suspect that she was lying.
Oh, sorry. Had to go grab something.
I'm sorry, darling. I didn't realise. Otherwise, I would have filled in. I thought you were just about to press
Oh,
play,
no.
so I didn't want to talk
You're
over
good.
you.
No,
So
you're good.
people in the chat are talking about these cases where some nutty person befriends a pregnant woman and then ends up sort of trying to do a kitchen cesarean and sort of absconds with the baby. You know, those sort of cases. There's been 2 or 3
Oh,
of them.
yeah.
Well, yeah. I would not befriend Harper. Let me put it that way.
Yes, and we Frosty. This is like the 3rd season, 4th of Frank and Harper shit show. I mean, the writing still sucks and the main characters still suck. Yeah.
What made me laugh was when people were talking about Frank and Harper's baby. It sounded like Frankenstein's monster, sort of,
Yes.
but the sequel, Frank and Harper's baby.
It sounds like a movie. A bad one.
It's going to echo with my new computer. It is. Hold on.
But, yeah. All right, let me get plugged back in here. Fucking A, it's cold. I don't usually ask my friends. Well, okay, the same thing goes. It goes for both ways.
It really doesn't. There's a difference between somebody telling you what they do as a job and then not making a big drama out of it, and somebody saying, "Hey, you know that guy who said that he was going to cut my throat? I've decided I'm going to befriend him and go around his house. What do you think?"
Oh, and I'm pregnant with this child. I know I told you I had a hysterectomy and that I'm almost 50 years old, but do you believe that? It's not the same, Purple.
Oh, and I've just married my long-time boyfriend as well. But it's okay. We're still co-parenting. It's fine.
Yeah, you understand, surely, Purple, right? I believe they knew exactly where to take this type of news to. take it to Purple. We'll go to Purple. I almost feel like they did this to Purple on purpose, honestly.
I feel
Uh,
like they did this to Purple on purpose. I'm convinced of it.
Yeah.
They were enjoying speaking to you and laughing behind their hands with each other.
Yep. Because they had a good time with this weird, I won't even call this a troll job. This is just psychotic. They had a good time laughing at everyone else's expense that congratulated them. My God, poor old Peaches was up there and told her, congratulations on your baby. And Harper didn't even say a word. Very odd response. But anyway, Purple, it's not the same. I don't ask my friends if they tell me what their job is, their profession, or their children. I'm not like, oh, gee, could you like provide me proof before we go any further?
But I definitely would have said something if she'd said to me, this man has threatened my life, but I've decided I'm going on a date with him. I would have been, what is wrong with you? Have you lost all leave of your senses? Put your boyfriend on the phone.
Exactly. Oh, and well, we're about to let that play. Listen to what she says here in a minute.
So, thank you, Riri.
Ciao. Hey, Pin.
So, like I said, it's the same thing.
It's not.
You can say it's not all you want to. And look, my beef is not really with you.
That's good.
It just kind of happened to get thrown in with the rest of tonight's conversation. Like I said, my beef's really not with you. I could really care less how many lives y'all do on me. Y'all can say I'm so desperate for content, but yet you all cover me.
We mention you sometimes in passing. You are never the main focus of our show. But
Never.
in an occasion like this, when the shit show happens on your live, then yes, part of that becomes content. But that's not because of you. That's because of the shit show that you entertain.
Right. And you did have content, Purple. The Frank and Harper stuff was content. Everybody was tuning in to, tag me when Harper cries again. She was going to cry on that panel. We didn't know that day she was going to admit that she lied. Eventually it was coming out. So yes, we were watching, and I used part of your live for content that day to show everybody that we were right. She was never pregnant. But we don't go live. I just started going live again. My first live this week wasn't even about any of this. It was about carbonation. And then I did the live about Frank and Harper on Purple's panel. And now I'm responding to Purple right now. And the jerks, when we go live, it's not about you, Purple. So I just, again, here you go. You just say things sometimes just to say them. I really do believe that. You're not sure if they're true or not. You're just saying them. They say I don't have content. What, Pearl?
They're just her catchphrases, sort of we see them every episode. It's like a game show. You expect there to be certain catchphrases throughout the show. Well, that's what I expect from Perp. And one of them will be, oh, they say I've got no content, but they're always using me. Yeah.
Yeah, always. Or if she's talking about predators, I would drop them in the ocean and watch the sharks eat them. The things that Purple say are on loop. She talks about Susan being on loop and on repeat, and she is, but so are you, Purple.
So who's really desperate for content? If I'm so desperate for content, then why are y'all covering me? All the time.
Center.
I mean, I very rarely bring any of you guys up. So, like I said, my beef's not with you, Soup. It's really not.
Well, that's good.
We don't cover you because
I could really care less what y'all think of me, what y'all think you know.
We don't cover you because of any opinion that you may or may not have about us. When we cover you, it's because you are the ringmaster of whatever circus is going down in this sector. You're the venue, that's all.
Yeah. Just like we will with anybody else. I mean, yeah. You're not our content. Today, I'm just simply responding to what you said, where you tried to make the comparison between Lolita and Harper, where there is no comparison. I'm so sorry, hun.
What you guys don't have a clue. You don't know nothing about me. Yeah, I know it happened here. Thank you.
You're not that deep, Perp. To barely know you is to know you well. There's not a lot of content in there.
I mean, sometimes we don't watch because you're just, I don't know. I don't even know what you're talking about. You're going to sleep. I will say you've done better about not going to sleep in the mornings. Now it's Queen Bee going to sleep and blaming her dogs.
I did not even care that you used the content. Did I say anything about it? No. I'm just saying, when y'all sit over there and laugh and cut up and, oh, it's so funny, Purple has no content, but yet you're covering me.
When do we laugh and cut up and say Purple has no content? I don't remember.
Mind puppets again. It's the mind
It's the
puppets.
sock puppets. Yes. She does this stuff where she'll say that people have said things that they really haven't said. But okay, Purple. All righty.
You're using my shit.
Shit.
Do I wish that shit never came out of my mouth? Oh.
Why are you talking like that? You're using my shit. Where'd that come from, girl? Again with the accents.
Trust me, I do. Trust me, I wish them two fucking weirdos would have never said a goddamn thing on my damn panel.
Oh, can I just say something?
And I promise you they won't be back.
Do I wish that you wouldn't keep phrasing everything as a question? Yes, I do.
Yes. I hate when people do that. I hate it. Do I regret this? Yes. Would I have done it again? No. I hate when people do that. Just say what you wouldn't or would have done. You don't have to phrase it in the frame of a question. Just say it.
Okay, if that was the case, then your little commentary about all your little digs at me wouldn't have been in there. Princess Polly, oh, you poor little thing. My content is just fine. I am happy with where my channel is. Princess Polly, oh, you poor little thing. Okay, if that was the case, then your little commentary about all your little digs at me wouldn't have been in there.
Purple. The only dig I had at you was the fact that you believed it and congratulated them, and then gave some of your subscribers a hard time when they were like, no, I'm not congratulating these two. Bye, bitch. And the thing with Frank, it's like you were hung up on him, dead set on him being guilty. And now we know why. You were so involved with the two of them and their weird relationship. So I was right. You were hung up on Frank being guilty that day. It's like you could not let it go. That's not a dig at you. It's the truth. It's just the truth.
Princess Polly, oh, you poor little thing. My content is just fine. I am happy with where my channel is. I don't need a big channel. I do this for fucking something to do in the pastime. This isn't anything. What? I get on here, I hang out, I talk some shit, call some shit out that I see, cover a missing child's case, and when I'm done, I hit the X and y'all go bye-bye. I don't give a shit. My content was just fine. I don't care if only one person's here. Oh, and I don't really know who said it, but somebody's like, oh yeah, look, and she pointed out how many views Matthew got. I was saying, good job. You got 1,500 views on your video. Congratulated him on
That wasn't me. I didn't even pay attention to that. So
having a good live. So fucking what? So look, that whole situation is twisted. I don't think anybody will ever understand the dynamics of what those two were up to be honest with you. I will be the first one to tell you I don't get it. I don't want to get it. I was just trying to clarify because I didn't understand, because they were going back and forth, and I was just like, wait a minute, what? It's not that I was so desperate for it to be true. I was trying to understand. That's what you do when you don't understand the situation. You
agree. When you don't understand something, you ask. But Purple, you were asking more questions of Frank than you were of Harper. Harper, listen, Harper came up and said, bitch, I lied. I don't have a baby. Okay. Now she did it through tears and snot, using the manipulation she always uses.
And then you still went on to ask Frank questions.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
when
you didn't hear that.
When you were talking to Soup from your panel, I don't know whether it's coming up or whether it would have been in a bit that's been cut out, but even then you said, I still think he did something to her.
Yeah. She was arguing with the people in the chat last night that were kind of had the same stance I have, that Harper has more of the upper hand, even though both of them have issues. They felt more like I did that Harper was the perpetrator, more of the perpetrator. And she didn't like that.
ask questions. But oh no, Purple's so desperate for it to be true, right, Soup? Oh, I'm a triggered twat. No, bitch, I think you're triggered. You're running like a little chicken shit. So there's that. Can't handle it, bitch? Leave. Princess Polly. So
I don't know who Princess Polly is, but they sure piss Purple off.
yeah, I know, Llama, but it's just, why talk about my son though? Talk about me all you want to.
Nobody talked
because I
about
came on
your
here.
son. Where did anybody say Purple's son is this, that, and the third? Where? Show me.
People talked about the way that you talked about your son. People talked about the slightly differing stories, which is interesting because this is one of the reasons you had for wanting to dig into the situation around Tony's son, because the stories weren't exactly the same.
Mm-hmm. Yes. That the dynamics, we told you months ago that this was a plan. Then when it happened, you were so stupid to believe it was true, even when you were told way back when that they had a psycho plan. Yes, Eliza. We all said it. These two weirdos are up to something. So why was she so shocked?
Jenna spoke about it on panel at a time when Jenna was the manager of your channel, Perp. How did this not come up in conversation? How did you not know what was being said? It doesn't, I can't believe that you never ever heard it, not even once.
I don't believe that. Remember when she wanted those recordings that Tony had so bad? Purple, come on now. Perp was played, y'all. And I don't know how. Even Purple should have called on to this. When they came up and said that they had a baby, you could have asked very simple questions that aren't intrusive, like how much did the baby weigh? What's the birth date? You know, things that mothers never forget and go on about and can tell you right off the dome. You didn't ask anything.
How bizarre would it be? Think of the friendships that you have, even the acquaintanceships that you have. That somebody sends you photographs of their pregnant belly, but they never show you the baby. That's fucking weird.
Right. Purple, when she sent you those pictures, why? I mean, I heard y'all say it was her because of the tattoo on the wrist, but did no one think, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't get it. No, she didn't want to listen to anyone. And she said that last night that she should start, hey, popcorn, that she should start listening to her friends more. If you got any giving you good advice, then yeah, you should. Why didn't Heidi pop up? Let's see. Wee Frosty says, why didn't Heidi pop up to give her input? Remember her windmilling for Harper like her life depended on it. Embarrassing. Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, I spoke to Harper. I did, and she told me. God almighty. And then you had Heidi was one of them congratulating them.
I know.
But she was calling Frank up.
The
Yeah.
L word, yeah, right up there on
Yeah.
panel. It's amazing. Eliza makes a great point, and Harper wanted those recordings. She didn't realise that Tony had recorded. She thought that Tony was just going to be an audience. And then she wanted to know exactly what had been said and what they knew, because obviously she had to shape her story. That's why she
Yep.
was so desperate to get the recordings. She wanted Perp to get the recordings for her.
Yep. And Perp tried. Oh, she tried, but it didn't
She
happen.
did. She really did try. Even to the point that, not last night, but a couple of shows ago, she said, oh, yeah, well, Tony's got the recordings, but she only gives them to people that she likes. Oh, no.
I don't think. I think you thought Tony was stupid or something. On that, I think you underestimated her, and you thought she was going to hand over the recordings to you. Tony knew better.
And I've shared some of his medical things with other people that, have children that, are in a similar situation. I'm a bad mom for that. Like, fuck. There's fucking support channels for every fucking thing you can think of, but I can't, share some of the experiences that I've been through with my son.
No one said that. No one has said that. All the people have said is, if you decide to talk about him and his medical details in detail, repeatedly, on the World Wide Web, people might discuss the way that you discuss it. I don't know why this is such a difficult concept.
I don't either. Especially with her just talking about Tabby's private life. Yes, Eliza. Oh, I had it pinned. Damn it. Oh, hell. Had Heidi not been on a cruise, she'd have probably been up there telling everyone. Oh, my God. Lama's coach via FaceTime. She would have.
Now, I've got to hear you now do Heidi's voice saying, I breathe and go.
Hold on, let me get a drink. Harper, just breathe. I'm here. Okay, you remember me in Utah? God, I'm gonna get choked. Is that what I feel? I know, Harper. I'm here for you. God almighty. I did see her in the comment section talking about, Purple, you want me to come up? God almighty.
I didn't promote your channel.
Oh, Lord. Lord, help me.
But everybody can
Soup
come on here and
was,
tell about, how they're a recovery.
Soup was reflecting back to you the thing that you always say, which is if somebody's talking about me, all they're doing is bringing attention to my channel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God almighty.
I know. You just want to strangle her. It's like you cannot be this stupid. Yes, pick me, pick me. I'm down here, Purple.
Recovering addict and they're a recovering alcoholic and, you know, all this, that, and the other. But I can't come on here and talk about my son and his heart condition. Make that one make sense. So it's okay to talk about drugs and alcohol, but real life, freaking life-threatening fucking conditions, oh, that's shunned. Oh, you can't do that, Purple.
It's okay to talk about all of them. No one has said that you can't talk about it.
She said
Again,
shun.
just as you examine and pick over other people's conversations about their experiences, why are you surprised when somebody does it to you? It doesn't make any sense.
I'm confused how she is confused by this.
She's not confused. She's just on the back foot. She's defensive. And the only way she knows to defend herself is to attack. That's what she always does.
That's what she always does. She's like an animal backed into a corner. She's just going to lash out. She's not going to take a beat, think it through, and, you know, maybe come up with a different plan. For her, it's just to lash out.
How dare you? I talk about my own issues and you're like, nope, that's not what happened. That's not the way it works. Like, how the fuck do y'all know? How the fuck do y'all know what I go through on a daily basis? Not everybody's fucking medical affects everybody the same fucking way. But hey, y'all guys.
Hey, Purple, you had no issue talking about other people's issues, real life issues. Addiction is a life-threatening issue, but you got that Karen mentality where you think that they shouldn't even exist. They do it to themselves. But that just shows your lack of education on the matter. You know, I can't help you out there.
A reminder that this time last year, possibly slightly more than a year, you quite happily got yourself involved with all the lies and bad-mouthing that Six of X was doing. A man who was considered so dangerous to Six that YouTube, the slowest moving thing on earth, yanked his channel because of the legal implications of what a judge had said, which said as far as he was concerned, Six Up did not exist. The very situation that could be happening to Bullhorn Betty if people had the sense to make it happen. That's the reason that he disappeared, because the law made him disappear. But you quite happily platformed him. You quite happily yucked it up, made all sort of insinuations that Six Up had relapsed. She hadn't. We all, out of protectiveness for Six Up, did not come in and make it a sideshow of talking to you. But my God, did we ever want to?
Oh, yeah. It was only out of respect for Six Up that we didn't. But we definitely sit back and we watched what you did. And had that been done to you, oh my God. Wow. Remember, no one has reached out to anybody in your personal life and had them on panel. Okay? Not over here anyway.
But I can't come on here and call people for what it is. Okay. Well, guess what? I've never been one to follow the crowd, so I'm not going to start now.
Purple, look, I'm going to get into it right now. You are one to follow the crowd. Like I have always said, you are someone, even if the person is like the worst of the worst and you know it, you've been enlightened on that. So you've been given a heads up. You'll let them hang out in your channel. You'll allow them on panel. even a dude in a gimp mask. Okay. You are some, remember when, you were trying to come for us and you kept emailing Queen Bee like she's the principal of YouTube. And then, you realize that she didn't pump any fear in anybody's heart over here. You go and try to get people to fight your battles all the time. And you do follow the crowd. I don't think you ever think for yourself. Don't say that again. Don't say that like you're some warrior and you're about it. You're not about it, Purple.
How dare Purple say junkie online? How dare Purple say somebody's a fucking drunk? But I'm going to tell you, I'm in my 12-step program.
Susan, you lying ass.
Certifies in this.
Way to prove our point.
Well, good for you, dummy. The year just started. I wouldn't, chalk it all up in one fucking month. So there's that. Y'all say you don't like me so much. Y'all, say how, all this bullshit, but yet y'all are fucking here, lurking and watching. Damn.
Sorry to disappoint.
Hey.
Listened on replay. I was over at Sixes having a laugh. But I enjoyed it on the replay, you totally losing your shit.
Mm-hmm. I do watch you sometimes. I don't lie. Unlike a lot of y'all lie and say you don't watch. Yes, you do. You're watching now. Everybody say hey to Purple and the Glitter Ninjas.
And in fact, the other day, when they were making comments about the red phone had gone off because people coming, because she was saying, Buckeye was saying something about the jerks were responsible for something. I don't know. But anyway, we were in a voice chat over at Jonesins and somebody mentioned it. So we went to have a look what was happening.
Oh, yeah.
We weren't in the bushes.
I was over at Jones. Yes.
The notion that watch parties are happening, I am really heartily sorry to disappoint you. No, those days have gone. Just because Linny remembers it from 8 months ago doesn't mean it's happening now. We were in Jonesins having a laugh over there about something.
And then we heard about the red phone that Buckeye had said that we were the ones going into Susan's. No, we ain't.
Yes, of course I go into Susan's as a troll account with my name that insinuates that I can't take care of my own toilet needs. Of course I do that. Oh, for God's sake, grow up.
Right.
It's like you think you're the only people who are trolled in Susan's chat. Everybody is trolled in there. I'm trolled in there on the regular. I'm not crying about it. I'm just discussing it now. Get a thicker skin. Stop blaming everybody else. I don't immediately assume that it's you or any of the others on your panel that are over there trolling under my name. Why do you automatically assume that it's the jerks trolling in there under any of your names? Well, I know the answer to that. It's because Linny is now over there in your ear. Seriously, fill your boots with Linny. 6 months down the line, when everything that she says now is exactly the opposite, you've only got yourself to blame. It's happened to me once. It won't be happening again.
Right. Like I told you last night, we don't do that boomerang shit. It happened to us once with Lenny. Never again. I think, this is your second time with Lenny? Good luck to you.
I'm just amazed she hasn't had Chris back.
Do what, hon?
I said, I'm just surprised she hasn't had Chris back. I'm waiting for that one to happen.
She'll have Chris back. Watch what I tell you. Yep.
Oh, wait. I give you guys content.
The dodos need attention. So, I mean, y'all have a freaking weird obsession that is creepy.
Oh, God. And here we go with that tired, draining. It's creepy obsession. If you don't stop, do you know that you're on a platform? a public one. When you go live, anybody can watch it. So are you calling your subscribers weird and creepy too? Because they're there listening to you?
It's really, really odd. It's like somebody goes into the middle of the town square, starts taking their clothes off and jumping up and down, and then they say, "Look at all these weirdos looking at me."
That's a good example. I
What the
like
hell? Uh, you're making a spectacle of yourself. Of course, people are looking. It doesn't mean that people are obsessed. They're just sort of. It's like when you drive past an accident. You don't really want to look at the accident, but you find that you can't help yourself.
Exactly. We're watching. We're just the only ones that don't lie about it. Now, when I tell you I don't watch you, I don't. But there are times that I watch. I mean, my God, the Frank and Harper stuff, I was there, front row.
It's creepy. I don't know.
Yeah, me watching you is creepy.
Because I don't believe either
Very
fucking one of you. I'm gonna put it that way right here, right now. Frank.
Me watching you is creepy. A beast man at 4 o'clock in the afternoon in England wearing a gimp mask, coming up from nowhere. You've never met him before, but you put him on camera. Not at all weird and creepy. Okay, then.
Not at all. Heidi talking to him for hours, giving him everybody's information or what she had. That's not creepy. It's completely normal. Come on, knock it off. Stop saying that weird shit.
I mean, Tentacles is up there with the creepiest voice on earth, but that's not creepy. Okay, then.
He doesn't even say, they don't even say, I'll say they don't even say anything. They're just sitting up there. You don't find that creepy, Purple? And we heard about what they did. We
Don't
heard.
be worried about slipping up and misgendering Tentacles. Tentacles does it to themselves on the regular.
Yeah,
I'm not
they
going to cry
do.
about it.
Yeah, they go back and forth, so it's hard. So I try to say they, but
Yeah, I'm
sometimes
I'm totally respecting the way he identifies, which is he, she, Tentacles. Depending on what day of the week it is. So don't come crying to me. I'm not going to get upset about it. And
I'm
believe
not
me, I
either.
have more reason than most to feel like there's some policing that needs to be done, but not in this case, because
No.
they constantly re-identify themselves on the regular. So when other people do it, you can't say it's a problem.
No, I agree with that 100%.
You want to know what the fuck I think? I think something did happen that day, and I think that you both are fucked up, and you both deserve to be held accountable for it behind fucking bars. That's what I think, Frank.
There you go. Even after all this, she still wants to believe that something happened that day.
She is desperate to believe that something happened that day. Something did happen that day, but I don't think it's what you're thinking, Purple. I don't think, and I believe me, I get it. Frank up there making light of the situation, talking about he dragged her in by the hair of her head. I don't think you got that he was probably being sarcastic, because you're so stuck on he did this, he did this. I think, yeah, here she goes, doubling down. I think she will continue to talk to Harper behind the scenes. That's just my opinion. They'll get mad at each other for a little bit, and then they'll start talking again. Purple has it out for Frank.
I think you absolutely did do something that day. And I absolutely do think that Harper had to come up with a story too. So yeah. You know what? I don't even care. I talked to her today. And I don't believe a fucking word she says, and I don't believe a fucking word you say. Frank, we already know. There is no baby. You're full of shit. Harper was pregnant, according to her, but she had a miscarriage. There's no baby.
Oh my God.
Yep, that's the part I wanted to get to. Yep. Now she's telling Purple that she was pregnant, but she had a miscarriage. Then why did you show her pictures of your bloated stomach? Still trying to save face? It's over, Harper. It's done. You made an ass of yourself. Now, that's nothing new. You've done that quite a few times, and will continue coming in here talking about y'all are sick. Girl. Telling Purple that you had a miscarriage. Stop.
You both need some fucking serious mental fucking help. And y'all need to stay the fuck away from each other before one of you unalive the other one. Just saying.
I do agree with that, but I've always said that.
But don't you ever consider, Perp, that by being part of the audience and listening to her talk like this, you help her in her mind continue the fact that she knows that continuing this sort of storyline and drama gets her attention. If you're really concerned that they are going to harm each other or that they both need mental help, you would stop feeding them.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. You don't feed that type of mental illness right there, or none at all. But especially the Frank and Harper stuff, I wouldn't entertain that no more, Purple. Oh, and yeah, that Pin Charlie girl. And why before her exit stage left, she screams she was never pregnant? Were you never pregnant, or were you pregnant and had a miscarriage? Here's the thing. I don't care. You were never pregnant. And I cannot wait for that clip to be found of you talking about your hysterectomy.
That bitch said to me today that I can't ruin his life, but he can ruin yours. Okay.
Do you hear the anger in her voice over Harper telling her she can't ruin Frank's life?
It's wild, isn't it?
It is.
And she's going to say it's anger over being suckered into this situation, but I'm not going to believe that because you still keep talking to this woman on the phone. And if you were really angry at being taken for a sucker, you wouldn't speak to her ever again.
No.
You actually
You
want something to come out of this. That's why you can't leave it alone.
Mm-mm. I think the only reason Frank is blocked is because of some of her mods. Honestly.
Yeah, I think Buckeye is the one policing
Yeah.
Frank.
Yeah. She's like, no, he's not coming in here. But if it wasn't for them, Purple would have him back in there.
Frank, I think it's absolutely disgusting the way you would say that you and her were in a relationship. She's a married fucking woman. Or you calling her baby and I love you.
Purple, are you serious? You were congratulating them two just a week ago. Congratulations. I think you all, people in the chat were talking about how they make a beautiful couple and Frank will be a good dad. But now you think it's sick and disgusting that he was in love with a married woman? Make up your mind. You sound stupid saying stuff like this, Purple. The fuck? Did you hear yourself? You think it's absolutely sick and disgusting that you say that you love she is a married woman. He just told you that they had a son together and you were like, that's awesome, Frank. I'm very happy for both of you. Fuck. You can't do that, Purple. Well, you did. Oh my God.
Also, the thought just crosses my mind. You know, we're talking about why on earth was Harper entertaining talking to Frank after Frank had threatened her. Why on earth were you entertaining talking to Harper after Harper had threatened you? She wanted to come and fight you in the cornfield. Winner takes it all, loser gets off YouTube. And yet you still spoke to her afterwards. What the hell?
I mean, that the same goes for you, Purple. She threatened you. You say Frank threatened your son and you, but yet you had him up on the panel. Do you hear yourself? Honestly, do you hear the words coming out of your mouth? Fuck.
You all that bullshit. That is so fucking disgusting. Disgusting. And then you sat up here and called her a fucking bitch on my panel when she wouldn't go with you what you wanted her to fucking say? No, hell no. You both are fucked up. Yeah, I did talk to Harper today. She didn't want to talk to me, and she tried to say that I altered the fucking audio on that live. Bitch, please. I did not fucking alter nothing. Now she still claims you assaulted her, Frank. Just to let you know.
Which is why you're still talking to her. Even though you're calling her a bitch and a psycho, you're still answering the phone. What the hell?
And she still says you assaulted her, Frank, just to let you know. But she is hung up on this. She really is. She's more mad at Frank than Harper, but she'll say that they're both sick. I'm going to let a little bit more of it play.
And her husband was on the phone too, and he said the same fucking thing. Yeah, they both are fucked up in the head. So I don't believe either fucking one of you. Neither one of you have told the fucking truth. I can guarantee that.
We knew that, Purple. Yeah, that's kind of been odd.
Chuck's granddaughter, it does. I'm just irritated, I guess.
In other news,
You're good.
Frank and Harper weren't telling the truth. The Pope is Catholic, the sky is blue, the grass is green, rain is wet.
Rain is wet. God, I thought hold on. Remember, Harper was there, tight with Perp and Heidi, when the elaborate plan came up about the fake threat to Perp's shun. Why is she shocked now? Good question, Eliza. It's always about deflection. They were all up in an uproar, going to the police station or claiming that they were. Frank was making these anonymous phone calls, and then it wasn't Frank. Like, yeah. That's why none of us were shocked. Again, when this came out, it was a lie, Purple. And you're mad at me because I'm asking you how you fell for this? Silly me.
Good, love. You're good. There was already people told to block them when they came in here. You got no use for them. You want a panel to go to? Go find someone else to go to, because it ain't gonna fucking be here. I think y'all did that shit on purpose, just to fucking bring shit to my channel.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I said that a week ago, that there's a reason they're bringing it to your panel. They don't like you, Purple. They knew if there's one part, all you got to do with Purple is act like you're on her side. And she'll have us up there and making her people congratulate us on a baby. Yeah. Of course they did it on purpose. Lenny sending FOIAs to the police reports. What the hell is Lenny doing?
I think that Frosty's talking about sometime in the past when there was discussion about FOIAing welfare checks on Frank.
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
Never did get the straight version of that story. I've heard several versions of that as well.
No, we never did. Right, Eliza? I mean, come on, Purple. Wake up.
Thank you, Heidi, for gifted members. Let's see, Kelly, Vestiges, River Mom, if they're working with the doo-doos or not. It stated that, see, one thing that I did hear is, I guess a year ago, Jenna called them out for saying that, about this plan. How did she know a year ago?
The same way everybody did. It was the gossip, the talk of the town. Everybody had heard a version of it, apparently, except for you. I find it hard to believe. You must have heard something. I mean, like I said, when Jenna said that on a panel, she was the manager of your channel. You were still friends. But it never came up in conversation. What?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Purple, I'm having a hard time believing that you didn't hear about this. I'm sorry, but I am. You mean to tell me everybody else in the sector knew, but you? I just think you feel embarrassed now. And you're pretending that you didn't hear about it. I'm just really having a hard time believing it. I'm sorry. We Frosty says, Stars, I still have Discord PTSD. I know what you're talking about. But yeah, that pretty much sums up my response to Purple. The two are not the same as much as you try to make them the same. The Lolita and Harper thing. Sorry. It ain't going to work. You ain't going to make fetch happen. Damn it, my earring's stuck in my ear. It's just not going to work, Purple. Hold on, Pearl. Let me get my earring out.
I feel that this is like a mask-off quote. You gang, our gang, we are not the same.
Mask off, fucking mask off. There, I got it fixed. But Purple, you're free to use my content, of your content, of my response, and Pearl's response tonight if you want to.
Yeah, but I would ask that if you do that, can you please not talk over what we're saying? Pause is nice so that people can at least hear what we're saying. Otherwise, why bother using it?
And please actually give commentary and not, oh, really? Oh, fuck you, team. No, actually, like, come on, come back with something. And we can do this back and forth for a while if you want to. Hell, I'm game. But yeah, the two aren't the same as much as you want them to be. I think you just you were thinking, oh God, what can I get over on the soup or the jerks? I know, Lolita. No, not the same. And I'll explain that to you again and again and again and again if I need to.
Mm-hmm. And the thing to remember is, after we did our own research and confronted Lolita, from that day to this, we have never been on the original channel. She has never been on our panel. She's never been in the chat. She never will be. That is not the situation with you and the people that you get involved with and the people whose stories you go over again and again and again.
Yep. You'll have Harper and Frank back around. Look at what I said this not too long ago. It's like your subscribers go through whiplash with you. One day, they're all against Heidi because you're against her. And then she comes back in and everybody has to get on with Heidi again. Lenny, everybody, God almighty, the Lenny of it all. She annoyed the hell of God, her and Ray Ray. And then they all have to get along with Lenny again. Next, it's going to be Chris. Y'all watch what I tell you. And they're all going to have to like Chris again. It's been this way since the beginning of Purple's channel. Somebody will leave, they'll come back. They'll leave, they'll come back. It'll be this big fallout. And then they have to, when they come back, everybody has to get along with them again. I couldn't put up with that. I wouldn't put up with it.
No, I wouldn't. And it would only sort of be amusing to me for so long that somebody like Linny would be coming into my chat, essentially using my venue as a soapbox to try and lecture other people. Because that's
Never
what she does.
again.
She's not really interacting with whatever you're talking about. She's just waiting for something sort of tangential that she can then say, oh, yes, well, people are like this. You know, it's always the slightest veiled barbs at other people. That's all that she does in there. She's not
That's it.
interacting with
Watch
you.
her.
She's not in
Watch her.
company. You are just a venue where she can vent the things that she dislikes in a place where she will go unchallenged. You hate Jenna, and you've got an issue with the Voodoo Sisters. Seriously, it's beneath you to call them the Doo-Doos. You sound like a toddler.
I know.
So
What?
you're insulting them, but you're just making yourself a joke. But while you are completely down on them, Linny will feel very comfortable there because that's all that she needs.
Lenny's only concern is anybody that hates Jenna. That's it. That is all she can think about. It was all she could. And now that I think about it, when we were having our issues with Jenna, that's when she came around us. It's not about a friendship that she wants with you all. It's just a place where she can, you know, talk about how horrible Jenna is, and also quotes. Also talk about how horrible the jerks are and backroom deals. March 2022, the 21st, and boom, you know, facts. That's all Lenny's interested in. Boom. But Pearl, I do appreciate you coming up here with me today.
Always a
had
pleasure,
good
you know,
time.
darling. Always a pleasure.
Yes. And the jerks, we should be live soon because I don't think I can wait much longer for your surprise, Pearl. It's needed.
I must admit, I can't wait for the next episode of Ziggy having a breakdown. I don't know what the hell is going on over there, but it was madness last night. 3
Well, let
lives.
me ask, where did Holler Bunny come from?
I have no idea, but just the fact that she came in and she dislikes Crystal was enough for Ziggy. I mean, seriously, sort of like anybody who hates who she hates, she's there. It's like
Like Purple, yeah.
transactional friendship is
Right.
the all and
Yeah.
end all. And then last night, for some reason, both of them, I've got to say, I don't know whether it's mental illness or substance abuse, but neither Ziggy nor Holly Girl are the most rational of thinkers. And last night they both assumed that the other was talking about them. It was World War III for about 15 minutes, crying, screaming, abuse at each other. And then by the end, it was all calm. And it was like, oh, yeah, well, perhaps I took that the wrong way. Oh, well, yes, I assumed. Craziness, absolute craziness.
Did I say Holler Bunny or Holler
Oh,
Girl?
that's Jodie Sue Brownie's Holly Bunny, isn't she?
Oh, okay. Holler Girl. That's her name. I haven't really watched her. She just came on the scene. Thank you, Vintage, for coming up. And anytime you want to. Ziggy Angry Tarot reading had me in hysterics. I missed that too.
Seriously, six was live for, I think it was over 7 hours last night, and it was prime content. I have not laughed so much for a long time.
I was there for an hour and then I went to sleep. Fine. Then I woke back up and then poor old Purple, there I was. Hey, Shuby Mom. I have that deleted Ziggy stream, by the way. Ooh, do you we? Good.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Last night she said again, I don't delete my streams. And then she deleted that stream right after. And that is now the second live that she's deleted in the last 7 days. But she never deletes anything.
No, she doesn't delete it. Her and Holler Girl will be like her and everybody else. It will be a fallout. As long as Holler Girl, I guess that's her name, agrees with everything her and Fred say, they'll be fine. But from what
I
I'm
keep
understanding,
wanting to call her Hollaback Girl.
ain't no holler back, girl. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get off here and cook dinner for the fam. I'm kidding. For the family. I say that to cringe the little one out. I'll
What
walk
is it
through.
that you're having? Does it involve potato or spaghetti? Or is
Oh
it real
no,
food?
it's real food. I'm actually going to cook. I did make a homemade pizza last night. I snuck a mushroom under the little one's pepperoni. Just to
Sometimes you
see.
have to, by any
Yes,
means necessary.
yes. Several people have the stream when Ziggy is hollering and crying. People know to record because it will be deleted. Yes.
She
Hey,
was
O'Neill.
squealing at such a volume and so high pitched last night. I was said in sixes. My neighbour's dog came round and in sign language asked me for migraine medication. You know, she was at that pitch that only dogs could hear. The squealing was incredible.
Well, she can now. She can get to a pitch that's unbelievable. Eh, if I lived with her, if I were Fred, I'd be out of there. When I go live, even if I'm mad or addressing somebody, I do not scream. And I screamed at somebody named Blue once, but I do not scream and holler like that to the top of my lungs. My husband would be like, "You're done." Like, if you can't handle it in YouTube better than this, go.
Yeah, he'd be unplugging the internet.
Yeah. If I embarrassed him like that, he couldn't have it. All right, y'all. I'm out for the night. I might see y'all again tomorrow. And yes,
Darling,
except
you're going to
if
have
you
to
could.
kick me. I don't know how to get out.
I don't know how to get out. I'm going to kick you. Love you. And 6 up, I do need your help. Even though I'm learning, I thought the best thing to do was just wing it, and I'll learn as I go. But I do need your help on some of this restream. Soup scared Blue for life that day. Oh, God. It was when I heard myself back, I sounded stupid. Blue! All right, y'all. I'm out. Y'all have a beautiful and blessed rest of your evening. Thanks for sticking by. And don't forget to hit that like.